Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Nachi Sinha, and today is the last video of the codependent relationship series. In my previous videos, we've covered many details about this type of relationship. If you haven't already, you can check back on those videos to learn more about codependency. In today's video, though, I'm going to talk about 8 classic signs that indicate that you are a codependent person. But before we proceed to that, I'd like to clarify one thing. Codependency isn't a mental illness. It's just a behavioral problem. And like any behavior, it can be fixed by putting boundaries and so on and so forth in place. And indeed, we've talked in detail about how to do that in our previous videos. So I do recommend that you go and have a look at them. And if you believe you have the signs of codependency, do not think that you have a significant problem that can't be fixed. You do have a significant problem, but it can be fixed. And also, if you are severely codependent and there are underlying mental health issues as well, then don't rule out the possibility of talking to a therapist, a psychiatrist, and your doctor. Okay, so let's begin with the first sign of codependency. Number 1, you feel overly responsible for people. So a codependent person is conditioned, to take care of the people around them. They feel they're in charge or 100% responsible if something bad happens to the people around them. Now, if you also feel the need to help everyone around you and put your needs behind, then you are a codependent person. When you don't mind helping other people or being available for them, even when you're, really busy or at your own cost for that matter, you will make time. You will compromise on your needs and tend to their problems first. Moreover, it makes you sad when you help them and don't get appreciation in return. It makes you believe that people don't care about your feelings as much as you do about them. You feel used when you drop everything for people, and in return, they do not do the same. The second sign that indicates you're a codependent person is number 2, low self-esteem. Codependent people validate themselves by helping others. They do not feel content and good enough about themselves the way they are. Hence, people do not accept their help or do not call them when they're in trouble. If that happens, then codependence, people's personality and confidence and self-esteem take a massive hit towards the negative. Moreover, they feel guilty for thinking about themselves for spending the same money on themselves. They are so used to thinking about others and they forget that they have needs too. So a codependent person feels selfish for prioritizing themselves. Moving ahead, the third sign of a codependent person is you have trouble establishing and maintaining your boundaries. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll see that I've always emphasized the importance of having boundaries in every relationship. Relationships become disrespectful and hurtful for the parties when there are no boundaries. A codependent person has trouble establishing boundaries. They find it hard to say no to people. They will compromise their work and routine and their own life, for that matter, instead of saying no to people. Moreover, they find it difficult, very difficult, in respecting other people's boundaries too. For example, a person makes it clear to a codependent person that they don't need their help. So instead of honoring their request, the codependent person will again offer their help and give suggestions or do something to help the person, despite already being made clear that it's not required by the receiving party. The fourth sign that indicates you're a codependent person is trust issues. Or you have a hard time trusting people. You think they're incapable of helping themselves, and hence don't trust them enough. This type of behavior is very common in, sort of a romantic relationship or common or married, that kind of stuff. And also in parental relationships. A parent often doesn't trust their child enough to allow them to do new things. For example, as basic as going on a swing, participating in a sport, and so on. The parent deeply fears that something bad will happen to the child, hence they prevent them from doing new things because they strongly believe that the child is incapable of caring for themselves. Moving on to the fifth sign, which is a strong urge to control everything. Now, codependency makes people addicted to the ones they love. They always want the best for them and cannot see them in any type of problem. Thus, they try to control the person to prevent them from unforeseeable dangers or problems. It all sounds a bit nice, isn't it? But don't forget that this is an unhealthy kind of thing we're talking about here. So they become anxious if a person does something that can hurt them. For example, a brother is a smoker. So the sister has codependency tendencies and will try everything in her power to make her brother quit smoking. She knows that her brother will suffer from several health issues due to his habit in the future. So she'll become, controlling and force her brother to quit smoking. Whether she succeeds or not. By helping others and suggesting them to do or not to do something is fine. We're human beings, that's how we interact. However, being extremely pushy or intrusive in the matter to someone else, can sort of make them hate you a bit, right? And will indirectly have an impact on your relationship with that person. Number 6, you feel trapped in your relationship. As humans, we all have expectations from our loved ones. If we love them and care for their needs, we expect the same from them. Somewhere in the corner of our hearts, that's what the expectation is. Now, so a codependent person goes above and beyond for the people they love. They sacrifice their own happiness and needs to be available to the people they love. But the problem is that codependents are obsessed with the people they claim to love and care about. They want to ensure that the loved ones are safe and doing well. However, a codependent person doesn't receive the same kind of concern, understanding, love, or appreciation from the people that they care about. As a result, they feel unhappy, used, manipulated by people. Now, the unhappiness is of not being appreciated for their efforts makes them feel stuck in the relationship. And this sense of feeling trapped and a bit hopeless and constant giving and not looking after themselves, it will take a toll on their mental health. Number 7, dissatisfied with life. A codependent person's life centers on helping others and protecting them. However, they become intrusive and controlling. In general, that sort of behavior is sort of frowned upon, and people hate that and they can't stand that sort of behavior. So their self-esteem plummets when people cut them out of their lives or confront them about their intrusive behavior. And they feel inadequate about themselves and guilty for not properly fulfilling their caretaking responsibilities. These feelings keep them unhappy and they experience dissatisfaction with their life. They've already not been looking after themselves, but when this happens, they forget about themselves even more and lose all enjoyment in things that would normally usually make them happy. Moving on. Number 8. Severe anxiety. Now, if you think a lot about your loved ones, relationships, and what could possibly go wrong in their lives, it is safe to say that you are codependent on the people around you. Thinking about their problems or the challenges they're facing upsets you. Moreover, you also think about the things that could go wrong or make it worse. You become severely anxious about everything. You have no control over things, and that really gets to you. So this anxiety then has an impact on your focus at work, studies, or other important, life activities that should have been a part of your life. Furthermore, when your anxiety goes up, it puts a negative twist on your mental and physical health. And these high levels of anxiety, have been linked with depression. So being codependent on others and seeking their approval and love by sacrificing your needs is damaging to you in the long run. It has an impact on your quality of life and health, and even strains your relationship with the very people who you claim to be the caretaker of, at least in your minds. So suppose you have any of the signs that I talked about, and in that case, it's about time you pay attention to your behavior and find out what the underlying cause of your type of codependency is, and how to get a cure for it. Because, it can ruin your life and make you feel unfulfilled and dissatisfied. And there's no fun in an unhappy life. Have a look at the series, perhaps it'll help you a bit more. So this was the last video of our codependent relationship series. And hopefully you found it informative and helpful, and if you know somebody who could benefit from it, of course feel free to share it. I will see you again next time with another series or another video. In the meantime, don't forget, if there are things that are bothering you, ask for help. Help does make a difference. Take care until we meet again, and goodbye. Thank you.